2015 has been a remarkable year for residential real estate in Melbourne and Victoria. We've seen some very strong growth in property prices throughout most of the metropolitan area, especially in the mid to top end of the market, with prices exceeding expectations, driven partly by overseas investment, partly by low interest rates, and of course an increasing population, which has all assisted in demand for quality property. Across Melbourne, the median reached 700,000 for the first time and is now sitting just under 730,000. In regional Victoria, there's been modest price growth, an increase in the median price from 341,000 to 347,000. Million-dollar suburbs in Melbourne increased dramatically from 61 in March to 87 in September. That's a significant increase for suburbs where properties have a median of above $1 million. Toorak obviously remains the most expensive suburb in Melbourne with a median of $4 million, and Canterbury and Balwyn where the median is $2.4 million. That showed strong growth this year, influenced mainly by overseas buyers. Some of the most affordable suburbs are still in the outer ring of Melbourne. Cranbourne, Pakenham, Werribee, Melton, they're all around 300,000, so they're good value in the outer suburbs of Melbourne. The market in Melbourne and Victoria has been very strong. The number of residential sales transactions in metropolitan Melbourne are almost 120,000 transactions, the highest in 5 years. And within that, over 40,000 auctions, the highest auction numbers ever. Well, the clearance rate this year has been around the 70 and above 70% for most of the year. It did start to moderate around November, early December, but we're still seeing, the low 70s, which is still pretty high for this time of the year. Early next year, we might see a bit of moderating in the clearance rate. And November was the highest auction month on record, with over 5,700 auctions just for that month. Factors that will influence the market in 2016 will be the same ones that affected this year. That is low interest rate environment, increase in population, a stable economy, overseas investment. All those factors will underpin the market, but we have seen the market probably at its peak. I think the market in terms of capital growth will be centred around the inner and middle suburbs of Melbourne, probably the southeastern sector and Bayside, but overall I think the strongest performing suburbs will be the inner and middle suburbs of Melbourne. Well, 2015 has been very strong in terms of double-digit capital growth in most areas. What we're going to see in the first quarter is usually the softest quarter, following the strongest quarter of the year. So March we'll generally start to see a dip in property prices anyway, but look, that is only seasonal. I don't think we'll expect double-digit growth across the board in Melbourne next year. There will be suburbs which will continue to have that strong growth in the inner middle suburbs, but the rest of the city will see single-digit growth. It certainly won't be going backwards. A number of standout suburbs in Melbourne last year were Glen Waverley, Mount Waverley, Bentley and surrounding areas. Those suburbs showed 15% capital growth just in the last quarter. Some of the suburbs to watch in 2016 around the 500,000 to 700,000 mark, which we think will show good growth, are Footscray, Coburg North, Altona and Sunshine. If you're in the market to buy, sell or invest, make sure you do your research first and visit reiv.com.au.